Welcome to the Midnight Oil. I have recently completed my onboarding with Notarize, the leader in online notarizations, and am now making money taking live calls. If you are in the process of onboarding with Notarize and want to avoid some of the tricks that they throw at you during the assessment, which is the final step that you must pass before you can start making money with Notarize, stay tuned. Assessment is the final step in the rather lengthy Notarize onboarding process to make sure that you, number one, understand your responsibilities as a notary, and number two, are familiar enough with the Notarize platform to successfully complete a notarization online. Now, when I completed my final assessment a few weeks ago with Notarize, it was a live assessment with my onboarding specialist where we walked through step by step on the Notarize platform as if I was notarizing a document for a live customer. Since then, the Notarize process has changed, and now the final assessment is self-guided. So if you hear me reference a live assessment, just know that's a throwback to my onboarding experience, but these tips and tricks should still apply to the final self-guided assessment as well. During my assessment, there were 4 tricky items. I caught 3 of them. I missed one, which was extra dirty if you ask me, but I was able to still successfully pass. Trick number 1 was related to date format. So my signer entered his date in all numerics, and the document requested the month to be written out and then numerics for the day and year. They wanted me to ask the signer and bring to their attention that the date format did not align with the document and give them the opportunity to change it or attest that they were fine with it the way that it was. The second trick is one that I personally believe if you get this part wrong, you will not pass the assessment. Make sure that you're conducting the proper notarial act. During my assessment, the document that I was notarizing in big, bold letters above the notarial language said acknowledgement, which would lead you to believe that the type of notarial act that's being conducted is an acknowledgement. However, if you read closely at the notarial language, it was clearly asking for a jurat, which leads me to the third trick related to taking an oath. When I asked my signer to raise their right hand to complete the oath, which is required for a jurat, my onboarding specialist raised their left hand instead of the right hand. So a tip on that, when you ask your signers to raise their right hand, raise your right hand as well, and understand that because it's on video, it should be a mirror image of your hand. So if you raise your right hand and your signer's hand is exactly where yours is, then they have raised the wrong hand. The last trick, they did me wrong on this one, was that the signer name had an IE in it, and when they actually signed the document in cursive, it had an EI instead of the IE, so the 2 letters were reversed. Now, I was so focused on making sure that I didn't have any undersigning that I totally missed the fact that those 2 letters had been switched around. So be mindful that not only the signature is a full signature as required, but also that the spelling of the name exactly matches what is on the document as well. My overall tip on how to successfully pass the live assessment is don't be overconfident. Even if you have been notarizing for years or, have studied so hard, you could feel like you could do a notarization on the platform in your sleep. Don't be overconfident when you do the live assessment. I mean, I had studied, I prepared, she was ready, I was ready to knock it out. However, I still did miss a few things. So make sure that you're prepared, but not overconfident, and that you're really doing your due diligence and eyeballing everything, being mindful that they are trying to trick you to make sure that you are going to pay the attention to detail that's required to be successful as a remote online notary on the Notarize platform. If you've successfully navigated your Notarize onboarding and have some additional tips, please place them down in the comments. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for letting it burn, and see you on the next one.